Hey guys, this is Joey with Ayurvedic, and I want to talk to you about some of the most amazing benefits meditation has brought me, and it will bring you once you keep that practice going. One is clarity of purpose. I wanted to actually have a whiteboard up, which I have, but I can't quite figure out how I'm going to put it up in this library area where some of my favorite books are stored. But clarity of purpose. Imagine it's written right behind me. And meditation brings clarity of purpose. Now, you can go into quantum physics even and kind of describe why that is as your energy that you essentially emit, your thoughts, become more and more focused. So maybe you heard of single pointed focus. If you could imagine now, I can draw a circle behind me on this imaginary whiteboard. And one who does not meditate has the thoughts going in every single direction. So from that circle, you'd see arrows of essentially energy, which thoughts are energy. Consciousness is a form of energy, but that's besides the point. So you're pointing these arrows in every direction. Thoughts are often racing through our minds, which is essentially the reason many people start to meditate. They have anxiety, stress, etc., and our lifestyles nowadays don't help necessarily with this factor. So once you have these arrows going every other direction and you introduce the element of meditation regularly, those arrows begin to become more and more pinpointed as you start to figure out who you truly are. Your true purpose becomes clear. You become aligned towards that purpose, which would be the second thing you'll see written down right under here. It's there. You just have to believe. But essentially, you align towards a purpose. And that is one of the benefits that goes probably the furthest, because a lot of us are running around this world trying this, trying that, getting to jobs we don't love. Many of us become miserable. 70% of people are stressed 70% of the time. I mean, that's a number that I'm sure if you reverted back to our ancestors, their amounts of stress, even with giant cats running around trying to eat them, is probably closer to 10% or some number that I'm obviously making up. But when you're in the moment, you can handle the moment. When I used to fight, and I still do with pretty amazing fighters who try to take off my head, as long as I can remain present, as Bruce Lee says, be like water, I can flow or I can crash, right? I can pinpoint where and when to do what I need to do and how I need to do it exactly and on point in the correct time. And we make magic happen. That's what meditation allows us to do. That's what single pointed focus allows us to do. Now, if you could imagine, since that circle is surrounded now by, instead of having arrows going in every which direction, they're pinpointing towards a certain direction, a single direction. And you can imagine this line now getting longer with one arrow. And in knowing who we are, our level of efficiency starts to go up, right? So we become more efficient in everything we do. When we put our mind to something, we can achieve it much easier. If you do know people that meditate regularly, or if you are one of those people, you'll probably notice that you are able to focus deeply, intently. If you stare into the eyes of someone who meditates, you'll see something else there. A type of focus if they're focusing, and even a type of light in the eyes if they're not, because energy is flowing very regularly, because they've most likely worked out the traumas that inhibit our full personality from coming out. So that's actually another benefit, which is we rid ourselves of traumas. This happens quite naturally, and certain styles of meditation will actually exponentially increase this, but traumas will begin to release I used to participate in Zen meditation, these Zen temples, often after I was training and fighting pretty hard with people. So the amount of maybe physical trauma or emotional trauma I was experiencing during those fights, an hour or two before, could have been very intense. There are some very angry people bringing some very angry stuff into the martial art gyms there. And so I would be meditating. I would notice I'll start vibrating often from the belly area, almost as if my body was kind of crying. Because what is crying, or laughter even? It's shuddering, right? It's vibrations that break up tension. Vibration breaks up tension. Tension is stuck energy. Now, as we meditate, we begin to relax the body, and as we relax the body, these points of tension, which we might have been holding onto for years or maybe even a whole lifetime, begin to release. And as you do, you might start crying, or your body will start vibrating, and you'll start releasing this type of energy, which opens you up for all kinds of things. It's one of the most amazing parts about meditating. So far, we have clarity of purpose, aligned to true self, more efficiency, and release of trauma, and hence flow of energy. I'm going to give you one more here. We realize that we are not our thoughts. In fact, we realize that there is, how do I explain this? The observer, always present, forever present. There's even a part of the brain that this coincides with. If you're meditating and you focus on the middle of the head, the place of all our senses, actually close to pretty much where the pineal gland is, between the ears, right behind the eyes, and from there you go up a couple inches and back a couple inches to the higher centers of the brain, essentially what makes us human. There you will notice that there is this forever watching presence. And so no matter what you're going through in life, you realize that you are above it, that there's something more there. There is a wise old man hiding out in your brain, a wise old woman if you like, and you realize that there's more to life ultimately. And these are just some of the things meditation brings. One thing that I'll note is that if you find 2 or 3 long-time meditators and they begin to have conversations about their experiences over time as they pursued a daily practice, you'll be pretty astounded that all 3 of them at some points definitely went through the same transitions, kind of insinuating that there is something, a formula behind everything, and we only need to really go inside to tap into that. Much more of this to come. Please subscribe, like, share this with others, and I will see you soon.